Being in quarantine has given us a lot of time to sit around and do nothing. So while I sit around and do nothing, I decided to make YouTube videos. Now my YouTube channel has been absolutely exploding since I uploaded first 5 days ago. Getting thousands and thousands of subscribers every single day it's really kept me busy, honestly, and I've been super duper busy. So in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to aim better with a controller in Apex Legends. Class is officially in session. So the first thing that I would recommend for improving aim is your grip on the controller. So first things first is the thumb positioning. This is very important. This is the big mistake that I see people making. People want to grip their thumbs the same way, where this thumb is for looking around and this is your aiming thumb. So for this thumb right here, it doesn't really matter where your thumb positioning is. But for this one, a lot of people will grip the controller in the very middle of their thumb, kind of close to their joint, and move it around like this. This causes for over-exaggerations and leads to more missed shots. If you just simply move your thumb back off the controller and just have the tip of your thumb on this will allow you to play on a higher sensitivity, it'll allow you to track better, it'll allow you to look around and just have overall better aim. So that's typically the thumb positioning that you want to have. And if you don't have paddles back here, I highly recommend you get some. There are some on Amazon that are fairly cheap. And what you want to do with these paddles is you want to map them out to buttons on this side of the controller. That way you don't have to move your aiming thumb off of the analog stick. So those would be my first two suggestions to increased aim, because with the paddles, if you want to jump or crouch during your fight, you just hit the paddles right here. And these aren't the best paddles in the whole world. Scuf makes fantastic controllers. I got these on Amazon for about $30. So that would be definitely an investment if you're interested in improving your aim over the long run. I would definitely invest in some paddles. And do try this out. It's going to take a little bit of practice, but after a couple of days of playing with it, and be cognizant, because you're going to want to go back to old habits of putting your whole thumb close to the joint on the analog stick. So give it a few days, practice that out, and that will definitely help increase your aim, and you'll find that you'll even be able to play at a higher sensitivity, and your tracking will be much, much better.
So step number 2 on how to improve your aim is pretty simple. It's just warm up. So before you start your session for the day, just hop into the firing range and just warm up. So what I like to do to warm up is I like to grab an R99, I like to grab some ammo, I like to grab an extended mag. That's it. If you grab too much, you're gonna get too much help, and it's gonna be, not as beneficial. So you can also grab a side if you want, but I would steer clear of any barrels or any stocks. Next thing you want to do is just, some of these dummies only spawn with a little bit of health. Just go ahead and wipe them out. Let them respawn with full health, and then just try your absolute best to just one clip these dummies. That was poor, but that's alright, I'm warming up. That was poor as well. Finish this guy off. And once you got about 200, 300 rounds, I like to play as Pathfinder so I can come up to this little building here, or this little section of rock. I like to just aim for these moving targets here. Once you empty, 2, 3, 4 clips into these guys, It's time to move on. That was gosh awful. But dude, just try and get a feel for the recoil and try and just do as much damage on these things as possible. Your first few clips will be probably pretty bad. This is my first time on in a few days, so my first clips were atrocious, but the last two have been significantly better. And that one was not good. Alright, after you do that for about 200, 300 bullets, I would grab your favorite gun. In this case, my favorite gun at the moment is probably the Havoc. So I'm gonna grab the Havoc, grab some ammo. I'm gonna stick with the no attachments. And just try and clip these dummies a couple times. I like to aim for headshots just because it gives you a smaller area to aim. So after you clip those dummies a few times, you got about 300 rounds. Just gotta do the same thing. Just come up here, aim for these targets. Just working on controlling that recoil. Just trying to do as much damage as we can. Alright, so by this time you should have a pretty decent feel of how the recoil is going to work on your favorite guns. So what I like to do now is I like to grab a Hemlock. That's not the Hemlock. I like to grab a Hemlock. I like to throw it in single fire. I'll grab an extended heavy. And what I'll try and do is I'll just try and snap around from different targets, like just kind of getting your thumbs loose. So. I'll move around a little bit. Try and hit those deep ones. Couple more for good measures. So by this time, your thumb should be warm, and do this as much as you need. By this time, you should have a good feel for your favorite gun's recoil. Your thumb should be good and loose if you do this a few more times. I probably didn't do it enough because my thumbs aren't, super loose, super warm. But get a good feel for what's going on and get your thumbs loose. And that's the end of step 2. And step 3, you're also going to be completing in the firing range. So step 3 is going to be movement. And this is really geared more towards winning gunfights. So what I like to do is I like to grab the Spitfire. I grab all the heavy ammo that I'm going to need. And what I like to do is I like to work on my strafing here. My strafing and my hip fire. Okay? So in this, while you're strafing, you want to keep your target centered. And obviously, when you're fighting, your target's probably going to be strafing too. But this looks like just moving your left analog stick around while tracking it with your right analog stick. So once you get this movement down, you can start speeding it up a little bit. I just exploded him by just looking at him. I'm just trying to keep this in the middle of his body. So I'm going to be able to track him if he goes up and over me. Obviously, I can't get this guy to jump, but if he did, I would be able to track him up and over. So after I get used to this strafing, I just gonna hip fire a little bit. Not crazy. Just hip fire just enough. Okay? Just while you're moving back and forth. And you can make these movements as fast or as slow as you want them. After I do this a few times, I'm going to start adding in the crouch while trying to keep this centered. And if you have those paddles, that's great. You can map one of them out to be crouch if you so choose. If not, I like to play on tactical, or I think it's called button puncher in Apex, where my right analog stick is crouch. So I'm just working on crouching while strafing, while keeping my reticle centered on this dummy. So once you do that a few times, you should be good to go. And what I would say is, when you're going into a game and you're trying to lose those first, 2-3 games, take fights. Don't steer away unless you feel like you're good and loose. Take the fights and actually work on this. So get up and personal with your enemy and try this strafing and crouching and hip firing. And that should get you good and loose, and it should also improve your ability to win your 1v1s and help your squad get to a win. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike if you want. And if you want to see more videos similar to this one, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and I will be trying to continue my upload schedule of posting 2-3 times a week. So hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys in the next one. Peace.